Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are ranking every single ASAP Rocky album that has come out currently to date through the year of 2026. Now, I will not be including any deluxe albums, so like the only deluxe album I really won't be including is the Long.LIVE.A AP Deluxe, which adds like 4 songs on it. And if by the time this is out, Don't Be Dumb, like the version 2 drops and there's like a deluxe part to it, I'm not gonna count that either, but there shouldn't be a second part to it. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. At 5th place, I have Testing. Now, to me, this was nowhere near as good as his original trilogy that he did with obviously the LIVE.LOVE.A APs, all those ASAP ones. They weren't really like, this Testing album didn't stand the test of those albums in my opinion. It had the same vibe for sure. It just wasn't like as good. Some of the songs on there were definitely not even near to the quality as his previous album, which came out before this, which was AT.LONG.LAST.A AP, which, comparing this album and Testing, crazy jump and a crazy difference. So hearing Testing, I guess just take it for what it is, and it's a good project, don't get me wrong. I would still give it like a 7 or like a mid 7, somewhere around there, and there's still some really good songs on there. Like, for me personally, one of my favorite songs by ASAP Rocky is Purity with Frank Ocean. I think that song is probably perfect. But to be honest, I'm really only keeping that one, like really going back to that one a lot. And obviously you have Praise the Lord, which is a good one, but you have a few hits off of here. But for me, it just doesn't stack up to the rest of ASAP Rocky's albums. And to me, it kind of feels like the most like minimalistic ASAP Rocky album, if that makes sense. Coming in at 4th place, I have LIVE.LOVE.A AP. This is his first mixtape. I believe it's a mixtape, not an album. But this is the first project into Rocky's discography. Now, for me, I really like how, you know, he introduces us into this cloud rap, this psychedelic hip hop, while also keeping it boom bap style and keeping it true to the rap form, but also bringing his twist to it, which brings that psychedelic sense to it. For me, you might think this is a little bit low, but personally, I just don't connect with a lot of these songs like other people do, probably when they first heard it. For me, I think that there's still some really good songs on there. You have like Demons, Sandman, Peso, Houston Old Head. You still have great songs off of here. But for me, I just don't have that, like, I don't get that same like wow factor from this album as I do from the other ones. And for me, as a full track list, I think once I'm reaching the end of the album or the end of the mixtape, I'm kind of like ready for it to be done. And, you know, it gives us Demons and Sandman, which I'm like, great closer. You know what I mean? Great closer. I just wish that it was a little different at some points, because sometimes it can all sound the same. Now, don't get me wrong, this is where ASAP Rocky began, and we wouldn't obviously be talking about this video if he obviously didn't have a successful first mixtape. But this album is still fantastic, and I still, you know, really like it. For me, it would probably rate somewhere in between a high 7 for me. In 3rd place, I have ASAP Rocky's new album, Don't Be Dumb. Now, if you've seen my review, you know what my score is on this, and you know it's somewhere around a high 7 to mid 7 area. So go watch that video if you haven't seen that review yet. But I kind of really like this album. You know, I gave this score, I gave the same score that I gave the Don't Be Dumb as the LIVE.LOVE.A AP mixtape. And I don't know if that's because, obviously, maybe recency bias, or because, you know, I just wasn't really around when I was listening to ASAP Rocky back in 2014, and now I am. But to me, Don't Be Dumb is like it's a good album. Like, it never was really great to me, but I think it's a good album. I think it falls off a bit in the later half of the album, you know. I think it starts off really, really strong all the way until probably Punk Rocky. Then after that, it slows down quite a bit. You get a lot of different sounds on here. You don't get any really cloud rap. You get obviously some, but you don't get as much as you would in a previous project. And you even get like some probably more trap sense of this album, you know. I like the production a lot. I think the production is great. You know, I think there are some interesting sounds here. Rocky's never done anything really like this before, which to me I kind of personally enjoy, because I just like going into some things like not knowing what I'm gonna expect. And this one, I don't really know what to expect, and it kind of definitely like divided the entire like population on how ASAP Rocky's music is. But I think for the majority, people kind of liked it. They just didn't really find the music like, I guess, radio play. which is fine. I never really thought it was going to be, with him saying that it was going to be a lot of different genres in there. I think there are a few too many songs. Like, I'm not a big fan of like the last 2 songs. I think they're okay. I think that Tyler feature is just so like disappointing in my opinion. That's one of my biggest like pet peeves with this album, is that Tyler and ASAP can make some great songs, and I just don't care for Fish and Steak. I think it's probably one of their worst collabs. I think Stay Here for Life is a great song, you know, with Brent Faiyaz. It uses that sample that Brent's used before. I think Helicopter is great. I think Still Your Flow is probably a top like 10 ASAP Rocky song. I also think Don't Be Dumb and Trip Baby is a fire song. I think it's underrated. People don't really talk about that song, but it's so good. It kind of reminds me of like Sandman or something like that a little bit. Obviously the Don't Be Dumb part, not Trip Baby. The Trip Baby is a nice switch, but I really, really like that song. That song could probably be higher up there. Listening to it now, because that song is just, it's perfect. Not perfect, sorry, but it's really, really good. So yeah, I think this album is really good, and I think it definitely deserves the 3rd spot. And to see, I don't know what we're gonna get with another album from A$AP Rocky. He says he's gonna drop, but yeah. At number 2, I have Long.LIVE.A AP. Long.LIVE.A AP is the 2nd album that he released, or his first studio album technically, but this is his take on cloud rap in an album form, and to me, this is just great. I would give this like a high 8 for me. You know, I think that the production here is great. The songs get better, and it definitely feels more ethereal and like an out of this world type of feeling. And I really enjoyed a lot of these problems. It's a really short track list, like not counting the deluxe, but it's a really short track list, only 12 songs, and I think every song really, really holds up to this day. Like saying that like maybe Wild for the Night with the Skrillex is probably your worst song on here is pretty crazy in my opinion. Like, I think that's crazy to say, because that song isn't bad, but it's obviously like not my favorite song, but it's not bad. But you have songs like, you know, Level, obviously, which is probably my favorite A$AP Rocky song of all time. Perfect Night Drive song, perfect cloud rap song. PMW with Schoolboy Q. Schoolboy Q and A$AP Rocky do not miss on a feature or on a song. You have fucking Problems with the Drake, Kendrick. You got an iconic song with that one. You have Fashion Killer. You got a Posse Cut in One Train. You got a lot of songs on here. And although I think that the deluxe does add Ghetto Symphony, which I personally really like, but that's about it for the deluxe. For me, I think that this really shines as the album, with it only being like 12 songs and it being so short and sweet and to the point. I think this album is truly phenomenal, and definitely one of those albums that I think most fans think this is probably his best. I wouldn't be surprised if people do think this is his best. To me, it's obviously not. But I think it's definitely worthy of that 2nd place for me. At number 1, I have At.LONG.LAST.A AP. This album to me is like almost a 9 out of 10. It's so good. It's that groundbreaking like best of the 3 of the trilogy that we got from A$AP Rocky. It brings that like soulful homecoming type of feel to an album. Like, you know what? It's been about a year or 2, you know, let's bring it back to the, you know, the roots, and let's just make it soulful. You have a lot more, I feel like, experimental stuff on here that really, really works and plays into even more of that cloud trap and that psychedelic rap, you know, that you're getting from A$AP Rocky. And I feel like this album definitely feels a lot more different from the other 2. The other 2 definitely keep a same type of vibe with that cloud rap, where this one I feel like experiments a little bit more, but not too much, to an extent to where it's like overbearing or to where like, well, what are you doing now? It's just a really good project, and to me it's probably his best work. I think you have songs on here like LSD, you know, Lord Pretty Flacco Jordy 2. You have Jukebox Joints with Kanye. You have Wavy Bone. You got M's. You got Everyday. You got a bunch of songs on here that are just great. You can go down from like top to bottom, and it's just phenomenal. For me, the only big problem that I have with this album is that it is a bit long. It has 18 songs, and it's almost an hour and 10 minutes. But I think the rest of it, you know, it's pretty fine. You know, I think it's good. I think it's great. And it doesn't feel that long, which is a good thing. But the 18 songs you definitely feel. But yeah, not too bad. I really like this album, and to me, it's A$AP Rocky's best album. Now, if you guys forgot what my ratings were, at number 5 I have Testing. At number 4 I have Live.LOVE.A AP. At number 3 I have Don't Be Dumb. At number 2 I have Long.LIVE.A AP. At number 1 I have At.LONG.LAST.A AP. Now let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments below of each album. You know, I want to hear where you guys would rank them, you know, where you guys have the A$AP Rocky's new albums, where you put, you know, Don't Be Dumb in his trilogy of albums in testing. Just let me know down in the comments your thoughts on A$AP Rocky as a rapper in general, as well as an artist. You know, what are your thoughts on him? And if you haven't checked out my ranking every song of A$AP Rocky, definitely go check that out, because that's been up for a while now. But if you haven't seen it, it's up on my YouTube. So definitely go check it out. And subscribe for more content like this. I'm going to be back doing J. Cole soon. That's a little sneak peek. And yeah, it's been your boy Tone. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.